My main man Norberto is back.
¿Qué onda?
Back from Mexico, right? You
No.
just came from Mexico?
No.
Okay.
I've been here this entire time.
Okay. Well, I thought you were in Mexico.
No.
No?
Did you just come back from the DR? Is that
Nah.
what happened?
Nah, I wish I did.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, si estuviera en DR.
Why weren't you in the DR?
I wish I was in DR.
I thought you're Dominican. You're supposed to be there all the time.
I know.
Why are you here?
Yo no sé. Yo me pregunto eso todos los días.
Mm.
Don't you ask yourself that as a Mexican? You'd be like, damn, what the fuck am I doing here in Dominican? United States. You ever think about that?
Often.
All the time.
Yeah.
Especially during the winter.
No, I like the winter, though.
Is that a Latino thing to think about going back to your home country at all time?
I don't know if it's a Latino thing. I know I can say that for me,
I
think about going to Mexico often.
I think about Dominican Republic.
I'm just like, ¿para qué no estamos partiendo la madre aquí?
Yes. When I was a kid, I didn't understand that, but now I'm a grown man. I think about my parents. I'm like, why? Why do you guys come here?
You know, because they came here for the opportunity.
Yeah.
They came to this country for the opportunity to make money, to give us a better life. And now we have the privilege of being like, you know what?
But let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's go back. Let's go back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people moving back. There's a lot of Latinos, especially our generations, are moving back. Like, you know, I'm trying to get my Dominican citizenship. There's a lot of people, especially us. Are you first generation or second generation?
I'm first generation.
I'm first generation too.
Yeah.
And do you get your the Mexican citizenship?
I'm waiting for my brother to get it first. Then once he gets it, then I'll be like, all right, this is how you do it.
Right
now. I would like to get my Mexican citizenship.
Right now, I'm trying to get a Dominican citizenship because, like, I think the American dream used to be like, get the house, white picket fence, have your family here in the United States of America, right? But I feel like the American dream has changed. The American dream now is live in your country making American dollars. I don't think Americans are have a healthy standard of living.
Absolutely not.
No.
Mm-mm. We work our asses off.
For what?
I don't know.
To be more in debt.
To be more in debt and have a little bit left over for health insurance.
Exactly. Y si te enferma, te jodiste.
A la bancarrota.
A la bancarrota.
Sí.
Exactamente. So, talk about health, bro. You saw what's going on with The Rock.
¿Adelgazó, no?
¿Qué está pasando más con él? I know that he has like some type of heart disease or stuff like that.
I mean, come on, bro.
Bro. It's like years.
What are we like? Look, I think, you know, The Rock tried being The Rock. He tried to live up to his name. He tried to be this big man.
For such a long time.
Yeah, like super masculine dude.
Yeah.
You know, super nice guy, but also super masculine.
And he's Hawaiian too, so like Hawaiians are known to be like big motherfuckers.
He's Samoan. He's got Samoan heritage. Yes.
Yeah, so they're naturally big.
Yeah, he comes from a lineage. He comes from a bloodline of very heavy people.
Mm-hmm.
But he himself, you know, you look at him, that dude is huge, and then that's been his brand for years.
Yeah.
But you know, we're humans. We're not machines, right?
Well, I'm a machine.
How you supposed to maintain that physique
for such a long time? I think about that. Matter of fact, he's been like my inspiration at the gym. I'm like, yo, if he could do it, I could do it too. But I'm a real one because I don't use any gear. I'm just naturally looking like this.
Yeah. He says he doesn't use gear.
Ese tipo.
He says chicken and rice.
Bruh.
Chicken and broccoli.
Y lo admití. You think he's going to admit it, bro?
Hell no.
All those cats use gear.
They never do. You can tell, and you can tell. You can tell.
Yeah. Do you see who else be using gear? That Liver King was using gear for a long time, and he aged quickly. I think it's okay to use gear after like a certain age, though.
You think?
Yeah.
How you gonna say after a certain age? It's unhealthy.
No, it's not, because like it's testosterone. Like our testosterone level goes down after a certain amount of time.
Look, I'm not gonna pretend I'm a doctor because I don't know the science behind it. I don't know much about it. I cannot say that for certain any any medical information about what gear does and does not do to the body. So I'm not gonna pretend like I do. However, you know, we saw wrestlers.
Yeah.
We saw wrestlers and how early they die.
Yeah, but that's because they OD on the gear. I think they go extreme on the gear. I think they're doing too much that the body's like, yo, and you're supposed to cycle. I don't know what kind of gear he was taking. And I bet you, I don't even know he was consulting a doctor. I can't talk on it. I don't know. But isn't there somebody else that also is having heart issues because of the gear? And we don't even know if it's the gear.
Look, we don't know if it's the gear. We don't know. We're speaking out of our asses right now.
Yeah,
that much is true. However, you know, when you look, take a step back and look at what's been happening, right? With athletes who take gear constantly, right? Or performance enhancing drugs. I like to use pro wrestling as a big example of people who use gear way too often,
and it's like normal.
But the thing is, they die.
They die.
Like they die so early.
Yeah.
And that's part of an issue, right? They have enlarged hearts. There's, you know, Hulk Hogan just died, right? So it's
was it from gear?
It wasn't from gear,
but
he
had a heart attack.
That dude was still pumping iron, you know, and he's, you know, that's un pinche abuelo.
Es verdad.
You know, what are you doing? Pumping iron at that age?
I'm gonna be pumping iron at that age.
Right?
Hell
like,
yeah.
And that's the thing about it, right? Like, we see all these bulky dudes, right?
Yeah.
We saw, you know, like Hulk Hogan died of heart disease. Triple H right now has a heart pacemaker. He has a pacemaker, right?
For real?
Yeah. And then you got The Rock having to become thin. Like, let's just be real about ourselves. Like, we don't like.
Ya estamos viejos.
Si estamos viejos, ya estamos viejos.
No, tú estás viejo. Yo estoy joven todavía.
No, this is the youngest that we will ever be.
That is true.
Yeah.
I think you also, I don't know. I also looked at The Rock too, and I was like, yo, ese tipo tiene 50 y pico algo. How old is he? 50 y pico años que tiene.
Sí, yeah.
Like, to look that good, defined, to have the veins coming out, like the way that his veins come out.
Too much vein. That's too much vein.
He looks exactly like my penis. Like vein. Bruh. What?
You want to talk about your penis a little more? What?
Do you want to?
No.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good. Now every time I see The Rock, it's just
So what pasa en mí?
Ahí va el pene.
Ahí va
Ahí va el pene de Gabriel.
Y ahora que está flaco.
Look, he looks his age.
He do
There's
look his age.
nothing wrong with that, and I think we gotta normalize that. Like,
and he looks great. He looks great for his age.
He looks great. Like, okay, cool. You lost some weight. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's also like, let's just be real about it. Let's be real about what we can do with our bodies when we're young, and let's be real about how we age.
That's true.
And I think that's, I don't know. I think that's important for.
I think it's an extra pressure because he's like the key person of influence at his company. He's the guy, right? You know what I'm saying? He's the superhero. He's the action hero at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think it's probably time for him to pass the throne to somebody else, like me or somebody. So,
sure, I agree. Hit him up. Be like, yo,
it's
time.
Man. Pero da pena because I really like The Rock. The Rock feels like he's such a nice, wholesome guy.
Here's the thing. He can still be wholesome. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking a step back from the gear, taking a step back from pumping iron, and still be inspirational. He can still be a good person. He can still be on brand for who The Rock is. Mm-hmm. The Rock has a certain positivity that he likes to exude. You can keep doing that. You don't need to necessarily be, you know.
But his movies are trash.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
I didn't say that. No.
You thought about it.
I thought about it. I didn't say
they
that.
Are trash. Like, a scale of 1 to 10, how trash are they?
You know what? They're popcorn movies. And we need those from time to time also.
Do we?
You go to the movies, you turn off your brain, and you just watch.
I actually enjoyed, I enjoyed Black Adam.
Okay. You know, that is an opinion that you have.
You didn't like Black Adam?
I thought Black Adam was a movie. Definitely fit the criteria for a movie.
Well, you thought it was mierda.
I didn't say that.
Okay, thought about it.
Maybe.
Also,
it's because he has a clause in his contract. Apparently, this is all hearsay.
Okay.
But he apparently has a clause in his contract that says that he cannot lose
a fight
in any of his movies.
Why is
Which kind of defeats the purpose. Like, no, we want to see a hero who, like,
falls,
gets, you know, has his flaws, who fails and then comes back. You know, like, We want to see some dynamics. If you just put in your contract you can never lose a fight, then what's the point?
Then there's no Rocky. You are no Rocky.
There is no Rocky. There is no underdog. There's no reason to root for you if you just win all the time.
You win all the time. That was one thing I loved about Rocky because the first movie like was unexpected. He lost. Rocky lost his first fight.
Rocky lost his first fight.
And he got fucked up.
But that's not what it's about.
That's not
it's
what
not about the victory. It's about getting punched in the face and continuing to move forward.
Yeah.
How much can you take?
I love the whole point of Rocky is when he was like getting messed up and he was like, yo, you're like, get up. Get up. And that's what life is all about. Like, are you the underdog? Are you gonna get back up? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's the type of story that we all love seeing.
Yeah.
But when you start being like, no, I can't lose. I gotta be Apollo Creed all the time. It's like, no, that doesn't work either. So that's why it was one of those things where you can tell when, look at all the Rock's movies. He never looks weak.
That's true.
Years.
He's going to be looking weak now.
For years.
When he loses all that weight.
For years in pro wrestling, John Cena was called Super Cena because that man never lost.
Yeah?
It got boring. The worst period in WWE's history is when John Cena was at the very top and would never lose.
What?
He was champion, never lost. Just when you think he's about to lose, nope, he wins. And it got boring because you're like, this dude just wins all the time. Every pay-per-view, every match, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be 10 against 1, and John Cena will somehow find a way to win the match. And you're just like, yo, that's boring.
He had the same clause as The Rock.
I don't know if it was the clause, but I know it was something that Vince McMahon was like, this is what I want. Like, this man will never lose. And guess what? The Rock kind of took that formula and was like, applied it to movies. And you're just like, then what the hell's the point? What's the point of watching a movie with The Rock in if you know the man's never going to take an L?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But having said that, that's why I don't know. I know he's trying to do some Oscar bait movie right now. With the what's it called? The Machine.
I don't know.
He's doing a movie that I saw the trailer. It's an A24 movie.
What?
Yeah.
A24 makes the best movies, bro. When you say A24, you're like, I want to see that movie.
Yeah. So it's called The Smashing Machine.
Sounds like a porn.
And it's not a porn. So The Rock right now is doing a movie. He's doing a movie called The Smashing Machine.
Okay.
It's about the former UFC heavyweight tournament champion and NCAA wrestling champion, Mark Kerr. You ever heard of him?
No. Nobody heard of him.
No, I've heard of him. But essentially, it's like a personal struggle movie. And look, if you watch the trailer, it looks like The Rock's actually putting on a performance. He's not acting like The Rock. He's acting like an actual character. So, it's just a trailer.
Do you think that's why The Rock movies suck? Because he never loses. That's the only reason.
No, he never loses and he plays the same character over and over again. Doesn't take any risks. Doesn't take any chances.
There's no depth. Like,
it's just The Rock.
It's just The Rock.
The character could be named Fulano de Tal.
Pero
it's just going to play The Rock. It's just The Rock. People like him in Moana. Guess what? Because Moana is like a completely different character, right? It's not The Rock. It's
not it's somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I enjoy when somebody of his stature can take a little bit of a risk. Because we like seeing that. We like seeing people who take risks.
Let me tell you, I want to talk to you about, like, there's something to talk about risk, right? Lady, I don't know if you've been seeing, like, Dominican media has been killing it, bro. Like, social media in Dominican Republic, like, live streaming, like, is a whole nother level, bro. Like, is ridiculous the level it has gotten, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard of Alofoke.
No. Tell me about it.
Alofoke is like, they do live streaming. Like, they have, like, the little podcasts and stuff like that. So, they were doing Casa de los Famosos. Remember Casa de los Famosos? I think is it Telemundo or something like that?
I think that's Televisa, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
All right. So, Casa de los Famosos or whatever. So I guess, when this Dominican dude that came out and won Casa de los Famosos, this dude in the art was like, yo, what is that? And he's like, yo, you know what? How about I do that here in Dominican Republic? And he grabbed a whole bunch of influencers from Dominican Republic, put them all in a house, bro. And he's live streaming 24 hours a day, bro. 24 hours a day. And they have like these crazy personalities. They're using the bathroom. They're going to sleep. They're farting. They're brushing their teeth. They're cooking. They're clubbing. Everything right before your eyes. In Dominican Republic, están diciendo que hay toque de queda because de la Casa de los Famosos. Like, it's an addiction because of how crazy these people are.
What do you like about it?
I don't watch it. I don't watch it. Bro, I went to the club. I'm also that guy. I don't watch nobody else like live stream. You know what it is? I have this mentality that's like I don't like watching other people. You see what I'm saying?
I enjoy watching other people.
I can't. It's like for me it's like I want to live my life.
Okay, yeah, but I live my life too, but I also enjoy watching other people. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I think it's just weird to be like, let me watch somebody else.
You're hanging out. Gives you the feeling you're just hanging out.
Like you're hanging out, yeah. Like
so
you're hanging out with these people.
It's something to put in the background.
Yeah.
It's just something to put in the background, you know.
I think that's
just
exactly
hanging out.
I think that's what's going on. But over there, like I was at the club this weekend, and bro, they on the big screen, they were streaming Casa de los Famosos.
That's funny.
While we're in the club. And you see them, and La Casa de Famosos, they're also in their own little club. Mm-hmm. And they have their own theme song. And they were playing the theme. They played the theme song like 5 times at the club. Casa de Alofoke, Casa de Alofoke. I keep saying Casa de los Famosos. It's Casa de Alofoke.
That's funny.
Casa de Alofoke, bro. And then the DJ was like, I am Team Crucita. And everybody's like, whoa. I had a show that day. I was on Friday night. I had a show. Bro, during the show, people were streaming, watching Casa de los Famosos, Casa de Alofoke.
Yeah.
And we had to call them up, like, yo, you really watching Casa de Alofoke while we at the show? They're like, see. Even afterwards that we started taking pictures with the fans and stuff like that, there was a table full of fans, but they were like surrounded watching Casa de Alofoke.
I think that's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah. That's having influence right there.
The man that started all this stuff, like his name is Santiago Matías. This dude is like a genius, bro.
Yeah.
A genius, bro. I don't watch none of his shit. Cause I think I do feel like it's brain rot content.
And what's wrong with that?
I feel like I think people gotta be careful what they consume.
We're making brain rot content. What are you talking about?
Are we really?
I think so.
We talk about everything.
We talk about everything, but
we talk things about happening in the culture.
It's a little bit of brain rot. It's a little bit.
Bro. What they mostly talk about is sex. Sometimes we do talk about sex too.
Sure.
I just think that their content is not how I say is really low quality. It's really like people arguing with each other, like creating drama. Oh, we broke up. So it's like it's very drama filled. Like when real, you know what I'm saying? It's like a reality show.
It's reality TV.
It's reality TV.
And what's wrong with that?
I'm just saying.
I think you're getting a little judgy on that.
I just don't consume. I don't like consuming things like that.
Pero ¿por qué no?
Because I do think that it affects you mentally.
Does it? I mean, if anything will affect you mentally if you allow it to.
I think everything that you consume will definitely impact you mentally. I think so.
Okay.
Like so if you're consuming content that's always like high drama, high intense, it builds up cortisol levels, right? And damn, I'm about to lose my voice. It's about.
No, mira, you're talking about cortisol levels now.
Cortisol
hold on, no. Keep it on track. We're talking about. All right, so Gadiel del Orbe does not approve of reality TV. Mm-mm. Is that the headline here?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
Any type of reality TV.
Damn.
Even Love Island. None of that.
Man, don't be talking shit about Love Island.
I don't do none of that. I just don't think like. For me, it's weird to sit down and watch somebody else's life.
But I think, you know what? It's all with consent. They've consented to it, that this is what they want, put out into the world.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's perfectly fine. It's entertainment. At the end of the day, it's entertainment. As long as we can, I do agree that there kind of is a certain point where people get too attached to what's going on. Sure. We've seen plenty of people out there in the internet kind of like treating these people like if they're like their own friends, which is always a problem, I think, right? So there is, just like anything else, in moderation, right? There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with consuming reality TV.
But we don't live in a world of moderation no more. We don't.
I mean, that's personal responsibility at that point.
But I don't think people are living their own lives no more. That people don't go see each other.
I mean, there's a reason why this show is very popular. There's a reason why this show is very popular. There's a reason why Casa de los Famosos is so popular. There's a reason why Love Island is so popular. There's a reason why plenty of reality shows that have to do with watching people do things is so popular.
It's also gossip too. You're like, yo, did you see that?
Very gossipy.
It's gossip.
I'm in it for the cheese, man. Give me all the cheese, man.
Give me all the cheese, man.
And you know what the thing is though? Like back in the day, like it's no different than telenovelas. Well, our moms still watch it, right?
Yeah.
Still watch telenovelas. And that's the thing about it.
My mom watches that.
Why? Porque queremos el chisme.
El drama.
Or what do the Cubans say? El tiki-tiki.
El tiki-tiki.
And so, it's something that we always strive for. Because, yes, our lives are everyday lives, right? We're just trying to make money. We're just trying to pay bills, right? We're just trying. We go to work, nos partimos la madre, and we try to make a living.
Yeah.
You know what? For a little bit of a distraction, it's okay to watch reality TV. Let's see how other people are living their lives.
Bro,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
And right now there's like this new integrante, right? This dude's a comedian, se llama Carlos Montescrew, and it's not me watching. It's just me scrolling through TikTok.
Oh, it's not you watching.
It's just scrolling.
It's not you watching.
Yo, bro,
okay, all right.
I scrolling through TikTok and I see the craziness this dude do. Like this dude's hilarious. And this dude does wild shit and unexpected things, and I think people are hooked in watching that, bro. I think they broke like 1 billion views, bro.
Yeah.
They broke like 1 billion views, bro.
Probably because it's good entertainment. That's why.
The dude, and this is just a trial run. Like the Santiago was like, let me try this thing out, and it's killing. I give my flowers to this man.
So then, are you for watching it or are you against watching it?
I don't watch it, but I could.
So,
but
okay,
I will go this. I will give my flowers to the man that put that shit together, to Santiago, because that I would say that man is a genius and he's playing his cards right.
Okay,
I applaud the dude. You see what I'm saying?
Why not watch it so that you can properly critique it?
No, because I don't need to. I'm seeing the success of it. I think I watch as a business standpoint, as the man behind.
But you say you don't watch it.
I don't. I see it as, that's how I look at the whole thing.
But you should see it.
So
that you can have a better, well-rounded opinion about it.
I think I'm afraid of being sucked in.
¿Y qué? Then did his job. Then you can talk about that experience, about how you were sucked in.
There's people even coming online and go like, I can't wait for this shit to end because I am hooked.
I got hooked. Look, I got hooked on Love Island. So for me, I'm just like, and here's the thing though. Again, I used to be the type of person that used to look down on that stuff. I used to be like, oh, it's not for me. It's not for me. You know, like, oh, watching Love Island. No. It's good, enjoyable entertainment. Is it good? No. But it is entertainment. And it is enjoyable. And you know what? I'm okay with it.
Bro, for me, I like... everything's addicting. All right? So we got... Our phones are already addicting enough. All right? Like, the social media. I'm already, like, addicted to Facebook, to Instagram, TikTok. I'm addicted to all those. And I admit it. Right? I don't want to add something else to the plate. You see what I'm saying? And I'm also, I like to see the big picture of things. Right? I like to be the one that's like, oh, that's crazy how everybody's into this. I like to see things from the outside world. I like observing human behavior. That's what it is.
Wouldn't you be more of an observer, a better observer, if you got into the weeds of it?
How about you watch it, you get in the weeds, and I watch you.
No,
them.
because then you're just seeing things from my perspective,
Exactly,
as opposed to seeing things from your personal.
And
perspective.
I'm saving my time, and you're wasting your time, and I'm saving my time.
But then look at us, we're talking about it.
Exactly.
But we're supposed.
But I am.
If we want to give a better opinion, it sounds like we should both watch it. This is what I'm getting out of this. That we should probably both be watching this show.
Should I watch it? The comment below if I should watch it or should I not watch it, or who's watching it right now, and tell us why you like watching it. How about that?
I think if there was a poll, it'd be like yes and hell yes. So
I'm gonna put a poll. Can you put a poll on YouTube?
I don't know. Try it. See what happens.
Should I watch Casa de Alofoke or should I not watch Casa de Alofoke? Is it worth watching?
Yes. You know why?
Because
we're talking about it. Because we're talking about it.
You know why I'm talking about it? Because it's extremely successful. It's probably one of the first live streaming that hit over 1 billion views. 1 billion views in Dominican Republic. Like, this man has destroyed every other like legacy media over there, bro. This man is a walking genius. Marketing genius. That's why I'm talking about it. Because I'm also proud that people in the country figured out something in social media that's working and killing. And I'm always for the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that sounds like you should watch it.
I'm supporting the show by talking about it, but not watching it. Tú sabes.
I think you should watch it.
No, tú estás loco. Si no, yo voy a estar como todo el mundo. ¿Tú viste lo que pasó?
Pues sí. Because we live in the world. We live in society. This is what we do. We live. We can't just take a step back. It's important to take a step back. Don't get me wrong. It's important to take a step back and look at the bigger picture and all that stuff. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But, from time to time, it's also important for us to be in it.
I don't know.
What is it that people find enjoy? Because you may watch it and not like it.
Yeah.
And then you ask yourself, why didn't I like it? Or you may watch it and like it and then be like, well, here's the reasons why I liked it.
Yeah, I was.
It makes us better informed people. As opposed to just be like, I don't like it, yeah.
You know what it is? I was what book I was reading? I forgot. It was like something Daring Greatly, I think it was. And it talks about like there's two different types of people. There's people in the arena, right? And there's people in the audience. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you have to make a choice of who you want to be. You could be the guy that's in the arena, that's doing the fighting, that's doing all the stuff, and people are gonna judge you and they're gonna talk about you. And then there's the audience. Mm-hmm. You're the one watching everything. You're the watcher. You're like you pay your ticket, you're sitting down, you're being entertained, but you're also critiquing the guy within the arena. I'd rather be the guy in the arena.
But if you're in the business of providing entertainment, wouldn't you want to be both so that you can be better at doing your job? Wrestlers, for example, pro wrestlers, they watch their matches. They actually sit out secretly in the arena to watch other performers inside of the ring so that they can better understand how an audience reacts to things. Mm-hmm. It makes you a more well-rounded performer. Understanding not just being in the ring and performing, because that's one thing and that's important. But you also have to understand what the audience reacts to and why they're reacting to certain things. Mm-hmm. That's why wrestlers tend to always be, they're watching matches constantly. Mm-hmm. So,
but are they watching matches or are they watching their own matches?
They're watching matches.
Other matches,
yeah. They're watching their own matches, obviously, too. Like, they watch it back and everything. But they like to watch other people perform. especially if they're veterans, if they're people who have been doing this for a very long time.
That
Of course, you want to
learn somebody from,
so that you can learn, but you got to be in the crowd. You got to feel it, see it from the perspective of the spectator.
I could see that, like,
right. And the thing is, we live in a world where you don't have to pick one or the other. You can be both, and that's perfectly fine. You know why? Because that makes us better at our job of entertaining.
Él quiere que yo vea esa vaina.
Hell yes.
So badly. Because él va a ir para su casa y a ver.
Sí.
You should watch it.
I'm gonna watch it. No.
I want to know what's your opinion.
I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna expect you to watch it too.
If I could like live stream, if I could like get this thing working, I would have put some Casa de Alofoke so like that you could watch it.
I'm just saying I'm gonna watch it, but I expect you to watch it too.
Matter of fact, next time you come back here, we're gonna react to it.
Fine.
I'm gonna figure this thing out.
But I'm just saying, Gadiel, you gotta watch it.
Yo.
Porque estamos comentando y estamos hablando acerca de todo esto y mira, ni uno ni el otro lo ha visto.
I just think it's very interesting because I think media is going into like live streaming, bro. And no, we're there. We are there.
We've been there.
We've been there. And the people that are destroying it right now in Dominican Republic is that dude. Like, I don't know who else is doing it to that level.
It sounds like we gotta watch it.
Do you watch live streamers? Do you watch streamers at all?
Actually, I don't. But I don't see it more like it's live streaming. I see it more akin to like reality TV. Back in the day, I used to watch this show. You know, one of the earliest shows that I watched was called La Academia. Did you ever hear about La Academia?
No.
So it was on TV Azteca and essentially was American Idol. But it also had this thing where they all lived in the same house. So you got to see them live their lives. So throughout the week, they would recap on from Monday to Friday, if I recall. They recap what happened that day at the end of the night. So at night they'd show you La Academia, you know, and they'd be rehearsing, they'd be doing antics around the house, and it's like Big Brother. They're just kind of being followed, you know, with the cameras. And then on Sunday night they have the concert, and then at the concert somebody gets eliminated. Whoever, you know, Mexico whoever has the least votes gets eliminated. So that was my first introduction to that type of content. So the more that you keep explaining this, it's more like in the kin of that, like more about you're just watching people do things.
I got a question for you. Why do you think human beings love watching these things or entertaining?
Because it's a distraction. It's not our lives. Really, it's somebody else's lives. Yes, absolutely.
You think it's more of a distraction, or like us human beings are just so addicted to stories? Or
we love chisme. There's nothing better than chisme. Chisme saves lives. I'm telling you. And this scratches that itch. Things like this, things like Love Island, things like it's a type of distraction. At the end of the day, that's what I firmly believe, that, you know, when things are rough out in the world and our own lives aren't that great, we tend to look for distractions. For us, you know, it could be reality TV, it could be streamers. Right, it could be TikTok, it could be, you know, Instagram, but you know, there's entertainment, there's the movies. But before any of this, there was the movies, there was TV, there was, you know,
we'll watch stories. Like I think human beings are crazy about stories. Tell me the beginning, middle, and end. Take me in through a journey.
Porque somos chismosos.
I think
queremos saber de todo.
De todo. Because before TV, what was it? We used to sit by a campfire. Tell stories. Yeah. That was the thing to do.
And now there's many different campfires. Yeah. There are live streaming campfires now.
This is the campfire.
The campfire requires Wi-Fi now.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I truly believe it's that. It's distraction. We want distractions.
And you were talking about wrestling earlier, and I know that you saw the whole thing with Rampage son.
Rampage's son, yeah.
What do you think about that, since you're like such a wrestling fan? What I have an understanding is que the dude, I guess, crushed a can on the guy's head, right?
So it feels all right. Let's get this straight. We don't want to, because I feel like we start talking about this and we're like we don't have our details straight. So this is according to to different sources here. Okay, so earlier this week at Knox Pro Wrestling event in Los Angeles, streamed live via Kick. So again, this is live streaming. Raja Jackson, the 25-year-old son of former UFC champion Quinton Rampage Jackson, shocked fans by violently assaulting professional wrestler Psycho Stu.
Do you see the video?
I did see the video.
It was wild.
Yeah. So what had happened earlier was they Psycho Stu crashed an empty can over Raja's head.
Yeah.
I think there was some sort of miscommunication because Psycho thought that he was working Raja, and Raja didn't know it was a work. A work means like it's fake, it's planned out. It's like part of a storyline.
Gotcha. So he probably thought Raja was a wrestler.
Yeah, but no, Raja's not a wrestler. Raja's an MMA dude. He's the son of an MMA fighter, right?
Yeah, se metió con el que no era.
No, se metió con alguien que no es, no? But the thing is, there was an apology. There was an apology.
As a man.
Yeah, it's like, hey, my bad. Sorry, like we thought this was a work and all this stuff, right?
And he accepted the apology.
He accepted the apology. And so then later that night at the event, from different sources have said this, allegedly, Raja was told you can have your receipt. So in wrestling, whenever in the simplest terms, a receipt is a wrestler punches you by accident but hits too hard, you now have to give a receipt, which means, all right, you punched me hard, now I gotta punch you hard back.
Yeah.
Simple as that. That's what a receipt is. So, during the event, Psycho Stu is in the ring, Raja gets tapped in the shoulder, go in there, get your receipt. He goes in there, picks up Psycho Stu and slams him to the mat. Slams him not in the professional wrestling style. He slammed him so hard that you could see the dude's head bounce. From the get-go, you saw this dude is out. He is out, unconscious. Y luego Raja va, he gets on top of him and then starts hammering him.
I saw that 20 times. You know what trips me out? The referee was standing there, bro.
Because the referee, I think, was still in look, I think it's irresponsible all around. But I also think from a human aspect, you're like, this is supposed to be a show. And in your mind, you're like, the referee's like, it's not a real fight. That's the thing about it. The referees are there, but it's not. They're not actually like seeing this as a real fight. They're seeing this as a performance, which is what it is. It's a performance. It's a play.
But que maldito play if you see the dude like really throwing these haymakers, like he's really going in there and boom.
I'm thinking that he assumes, those look like real punches.
Oh my! Y se quedó ahí como un estúpido.
See. And look, we have the hindsight of 20. We have hindsight. We have
That's true.
So it's easy for us to be like, oh, I would have done this, I would have done that. But at the moment, everybody was just kind of shocked by how this is an attempted murder.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what happened.
Coño, but the referee que dio, coño, por lo menos in the first two, you be like, espérate, eso fue duro. Yo soy el único que soy referee aquí.
Sí.
Él es el único que es referee. Sí. So, todo el mundo está esperando que el referee haga algo, sea lo que sea.
Sí, no estaba preparado el referee.
Entonces, ¿qué hace el referee?
The referee's there. A referee in wrestling is not actually a referee.
Then what the fuck is he doing there?
He's there to just keep the match moving forward, and he thought the match was still going. Again, I'm giving grace to the referee, and we're calling him referee for the sake of this, for us talking that he's a referee, but he's not really a referee.
Then what the fuck is he doing there?
He's just a character like everybody else. He's part of the play.
So he's a fake referee.
It's pro wrestling. Yes, he's a fake referee.
But like, let's say we're talking about two men. All right, let's talk about two men. Sometimes men, we lose our cool.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to something physical as fighting. Don't you think that a referee has to have that in the back of their mind? Or if I'm playing a referee, shit might get out of hand. And I'm going to need to know what to do when shit gets there.
There's good referee, in quotes. Referee is all in quotes right now. There are good referees. There are bad referees.
I think that's a cop out, bro.
So I think it was a bad referee. Like, he didn't know how to react. If there was a professional trained referee in there, he probably would have been like, no, espera.
Desde el primer puño, el segundo, espérate, this looks too real. Son 20 veces él estaba dándole.
Sí.
20 veces que él estaba yendo ahí atrás. Boom. Boom. Y el referee está ahí con un estúpido.
Sí. No, I agree with it. I agree. I agree with how you're putting it.
Yeah.
I think but again, it kind of just shocked everybody. Everybody was So at the end of the day, that's what it like. Everyone was shocked. Nobody ever expects like your guest, because he's Rampage's son too.
Yeah.
The guest to run in and start committing,
attempted murder.
Like you don't expect that either. Right? So that's why the wrestlers had to jump in and like break it up. Porque todavía seguía. Él seguía dándole and you're just like, this is dumb.
Qué loco esto. No, y sabes que el Rampage sigue streaming y después de toda esa vaina. Loco.
Oye, come get your son.
Come get your son, my guy. So, you know what broke my heart? That the dude is a naval, but I'm a veteran. I don't know if he's a naval veteran, but he's a veteran.
He's a veteran, yeah.
Right? That breaks my heart even more because I know what veterans go through, to assimilate back into society. Bro. He's doing something with his life, which is that wrestling, bro.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I don't know. You were telling me that supposedly he came out of the hospital or some shit.
He just came out of the hospital. He put out a post. It was scary for a while because that dude was not responding. At least allegedly, according to some of the sources that were there, like that dude was not responding. In the stream itself, in Raj's stream, you can hear when he's on the phone with one of the organizers. He's like he flatlined. So like, dude, like
he almost died.
He
basically died.
Dude's bleeding out of the ears. Like
bleeding out of the ears.
Like it was nasty. It was attempted murder. Is what it was. But fortunately, like he came out. He put out a post being like he's thankful for the supporters and everything. So at least it's not murder for now. But it was.
So what did the post say? Like, yo, I'm okay.
Yeah, essentially. He put out a post being like, "This is just letting everybody know that he's okay." Psycho Stu has been released from the hospital and is now home resting. He sustained a serious head injury and was unconscious upon arrival at the ER. His injuries include trauma to both the upper and lower jaws, a laceration to his upper lip, a fracture to the maxilla bone, which unfortunately resulted in the loss of several teeth. He has a long road of recovery ahead, but he remains in good spirits despite everything he has been through. We are deeply grateful for all the love and support we've received during this time. Thank you to everyone who has contributed in any way, whether it's through monetary donations, food, flowers, or gifts. Your kindness means more than words can express.
Aww.
So, he came out alive. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's, I think we've seen this type of,
behavior before.
Ain't nobody wants to look weak.
Yeah. It's an ego thing more than
Of course it's an ego thing.
Yeah. How old is Raja?
He's young. Let's see.
think I remember being stupid, but damn, not that stupid. I always had.
Raj Jackson is 25 years old.
Yo, man, he's a grown man already, 25 years old. To act like that at 25 years old, that's wild.
That's anger issues right there.
This man needs therapy.
He needs therapy.
Years, I understand if he was 18 doing that. You know, because you're 18, you're stupid. 17, you're pretty much stupid.
Yeah.
You know? I remember when I was 15, somebody walked close to one of my friends. I'm like, yo, let's jump him. Right? But when you hit 25 years old, bro, like you a grown man, bro. And you think like that, I didn't have that type. Maybe it's because it's just me. But I grew up here in Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
To beat a guy that bad, no, I would never dare to do that. I would never dare to do that. No, especially at 20. I think we gotta stop we live in an age that we infantilizing men too damn much.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I think that's why people are like, oh man, he's a kid, he's young. No. He a grown man, attempted murder. He's old enough to understand this.
Yeah.
Nowadays people paying child support till 21 years old. Oh yes, a mierda.
Mm.
And then people expect me to get married and have kids. No. So I have a grown ass nigga. I'm paying child support. By the time he grows up, I'm gonna have to be paying child support till he's 30.
I think what was egregious about it, I think, is also the fact that Raja, like, all right, we're gonna be Neanderthals for a second. All right.
Okay.
All right. If you got a beef with somebody,
Yeah.
how do you settle it?
You fight.
Okay. You fight.
Yeah.
You go 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Whoever wins,
that's it.
At the end of the day, you shake hands and yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Here in this instance, Raja went into the ring. Psycho Stu thought that it was all a work.
Again.
He thought it was, hey, it's part of the show.
Yo,
He allowed himself to be slammed because he thought it was part of the show.
Yeah.
And Raja took advantage of that.
Of that.
Of the fact that this man wasn't going to defend himself because in the show, he's not supposed to.
He's not supposed to.
He's supposed to, all right, I'll take the slam. Because you can tell, like, Raja picks him up. And Psycho Stu is much bigger than him, but he, like, allows himself to be picked up. Because it's all part of the show. So I think that's even worse than what happened. It's one thing if you challenge somebody, let's fight, and yeah.
You know what's the worst part about the wrestler? What's his name?
Psycho Stu.
Worst part of Psycho Stu, that nigga was mistaken twice. Diablo, loco.
Yeah.
¿Qué día de qué mala suerte tenemos?
It's bad communication all around. That's what it was.
Ese tipo was like, he's like, bro,
somebody should have said something to somebody. Like, okay, this is when it's for real. This is when it's real.
When it's real.
This is when it's real. This is when it's not. Like, somebody say something. Get some organization. Get some booking done. Like, let's be real here. This is why WWE has producers.
Yeah.
This is why AEW has producers. They have people overseeing every single match, so that dumb stuff like this doesn't happen. So it's one of those things that's just like, you know, just a lot. Look, just a lot of stupidity, a lot of immature people all around.
Yeah, because I think.
And then a kid who's, a 25-year-old dude who can't keep. He's not a kid. He's a man. He's a grown man who can't keep his ego in check.
Yes.
Like, that's just reality. Who's got clear anger issues. Because it never in my mind would I think, you know what, this dude has slighted me. Let me beat him half to death.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, but there were times, you know, as a man, sometimes, like when somebody fucks with you, like, you could be cool at the moment, and then you ever got home and you're like 3 days later you're thinking about the shit. You're like, mierda. And you're like, it just analyzing the thing, like, yo, I should have beat his ass. And it comes out in other places, right? Like, you know, taking a shower and you're arguing with some nigga that's not even there.
Mm-hmm.
That ever happen to you?
No.
I do that all the time. Oh, you never argued with some nigga on the mirror?
Well, you know what? No, I have thought up of fake arguments in the shower. It's like, all right.
Tú estás jabonado y mete desgracia, yo te mato, papá.
Well, you think about a lot. You think a lot about a
Yeah.
lot. It's the heat coming
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
water. I don't know. There's a science to it. But I have done that. But I've never thought, all right, I don't know. I've never thought about taking it more than that. It's all intellectual conversations.
Real talk though, like there's been time okay, I'm like, yo, I got into it with somebody tried to play me, right? And then afterwards, yo maquino eso. Uno maquina eso. Like that shit that starts playing in your head, you're like, you know what? Let me punch this dude right now. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
There were times I'm like a week later, sometimes a year later. You ever had like some shit happen with somebody and then a year later it just pops on your head? You're like, man, I should have punched them.
I don't have the reaction of I should have punched them, but I know there have been moments that I think about like a decade later.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck. It's like one of those 3 a.m. thoughts. Damn.
Yeah, when you're about to go to sleep, you can't go to sleep. You're like, man, I should have punched that motherfucker.
See, again, I don't get the punch. I can't believe I punched that motherfucker. I would probably be more like, that was a stupid moment.
Yeah.
I mean, like a cringy moment.
Oh yeah,
it's like, oh,
cringy.
fuck, man.
Fuck.
Like, oh. So those do come back, but I've never thought the solution was should have punched the dude.
Fuck that dude.
No, because I also know like violence is violence. Yo soy amor y paz.
Eso ahora que yo soy amor y paz.
Yeah.
Ahora yo soy amor y paz. You see what I'm saying? Am I? But there's some days that I'm like, man, I wish there was like I could catch them and no cameras around. You ever like argue with somebody and you got face to face, right? And you're like, okay, I'm glad. At the moment, you're like, this is a bad idea. We shouldn't fight. I'm not gonna do this. I am better than this.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking to yourself. You're like, I am so much better than this. I'm a grown man. I am very mature. And you walk away. You're like, I'm glad I walked away. And the next day, you're like, why the fuck did I walk away?
You walked away because it's the thing you're supposed to do.
You're supposed to do, but there's this other that come. You know how they have the angel and the devil, and the
Yes.
devil goes like Diablo loco.
Do you remember? Back in the day, we had an argument.
Okay.
We had an argument about a specific moment. I'm looking it up right now. Eduardo Yañez. Do you remember him?
Eduardo Yañez.
Yeah. He's an actor de las telenovelas. He slapped a reporter in an interview.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So you were on the side of
Eduardo.
Eduardo Yañez. Yeah, like
yeah.
He's porque he slapped him.
He slapped
the reporter.
Because the reporter asked him some fucked up question.
Yes. And you thought, all right, that's warranted.
Yeah.
Okay, he deserved it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no. Don't. Why are you slapping people? We were on two different sides here.
Yeah.
But again, I still stand by that.
It was.
Don't slap.
Okay. The reporter was being a bitch.
Yeah, he was.
It was like his son got in a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess his son went online and started asking for money or some shit.
It had something to do with like some family issues. Which again, messed up thing to ask about. Don't ask about that.
The dude is on the red carpet and the reporter came up to him and was like, what do you say about a man that has a kid asking for money online or something like that? And then he was, I forgot the rest, but I know he slapped him.
He slapped him, yeah.
I was like, but that was a fucking, you know what it is? It was wrong. It was wrong. You were right. You're right that it was wrong that he did it. But it felt good to see it.
It felt good to see it. I'll give you that. Still wouldn't have done it. Well, then let me ask you another example.
I wouldn't have done it. I would have been mad that I didn't do it. I would be like, I would have taken the high road right then and there. But I know damn well 3 days later, I would have been like, I should have slapped that nigga.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to let it do that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm like, just don't hit anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
So,
and I know the phrase is talk shit, get hit. I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. We've lived with that.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, you know what? It's not worth it.
It's not worth
Let
it.
me ask you something.
Okay.
Yeah. To further talk about this, do you think Will Smith was right
No.
in slapping Chris Rock?
Definitely not. Definitely not. It was not warranted. It was stupid. It was just. I think it was more Will Smith's ego.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I think no. Don't. Why are you embarrassing yourself like that? Don't go up there and slap Chris Rock.
As half your size, the joke was not even that bad of a joke. He just called her G.I. Jane.
Yeah, I remember when all that stuff went down.
Everybody thought it was a joke.
Here's the thing. Everybody thought it was, after it all subsided, everybody was kind of like, Will Smith shouldn't have done that. Yeah. Okay. Then I started seeing the tide turn a little bit. Then everybody was like, oh, well, he made fun of Jada Pinkett Smith, so therefore
it's okay.
It's warranted.
Yeah.
And there were people that are very like progressive people that were like, Chris Rock deserved it. And I'm just like,
a lot of people, yes.
There were a lot of people, and I was like,
a lot of people.
I don't think so.
That's true.
Again, I'm only past. Like, at the end of the day, you can talk shit all you want.
But he could pull him off to the side afterwards, be like, yo, you my guy, but like, don't be talking about my wife like that. And I get it. If you my boy, be like, don't talk about my wife. Okay, cool. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, why'd you gotta do it so publicly in front of, what did Chris Rock say in front of the white people?
But for him to be like, I'm gonna walk on stage and slap you, bro. He was laughing at first, and he saw Jada Pinkett Smith. She rolled her eyes, and he was like, "Oh no, you're more para ahora. Now I gotta show up." I'm like, you ain't slap her when she was saying that she had an entanglement con ese tigre, con August, whatever that motherfucker's name is, that she had an affair with. And he lo publicó all over the world. To slap somebody at that caliber, bro. And you know what was the worst part about it? They still gave him the Oscar. Like, oh, you know what? We don't play that. Violence. We don't resort to violence. And he was like, get my wife's name out your mouth. That's what I know was real. When he was like, he sat down, he was like, get my wife's name out your mouth. Yeah, oh no, esto no fue. It's not a joke.
Yeah, it got awkward after that.
It got awkward. Everybody, ooh. And he got a standing ovation that same night.
Yeah, he got his award.
Yeah. And people were there. Oh my God. No.
Yeah, but ain't nobody remember. Here's the thing. Nobody remembers what he won for. It was King Richard. But, he got overshadowed by a slap.
Yeah. No, and on top of that, you know what was the worst part about it? Somebody won Best Documentary at that time. Who was it? It was
It's from The Roots, no?
The Roots.
Yeah.
And you just messed up that guy's moment.
Bro. Yeah. Messed up his moment.
Messed up his moment for what? Because of a joke?
Here's the thing, right? People are gonna do what they're gonna do. Right? Even if you wanted to slap Chris Rock, fine, take him aside. Do it in private. Do whatever you gotta do. But again, things that you don't do. You don't beat somebody somebody close to you don't commit assault. You don't commit attempted murder.
You don't commit attempted murder.
Right.
Yeah. I think the lesson we have today is stay safe. 1, 2, check your emotions. If you feel like you're gonna hit somebody, don't do it. Don't do it. Think about it. It's better to take the high road. It's better to not commit violence and just walk away. Think about it. Hit the gym to let it out. You see what I'm saying? And stay away from steroids. Steroids. Yeah. Anything else you want to let people know? Okay.
Yeah, don't hit people. It's not worth it. Stay mad that you didn't hit them.
Yeah,
stay mad.
it's better. It's better to regret. Also, don't risk your life. Don't risk imprisonment. Don't risk somebody else's life. I know somebody that punched somebody by accident. Not by accident, but like at the heat of the moment, something
Yeah.
happened, punched him. The man fell, lost his life, hit the back of his head, and now you're doing time for murder of somebody that something that could have been prevented. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anything can happen. It's better off to just avoid it and live your life and focus on you and your goals. If you focus on you and your goals, that's more important than anything else. Don't let stupidity get in the way. Yeah, and then for the young cats, there's a lot of young cats that's probably listening to me. You know, I grew up in this neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? I know what it is. I remember the fights. I remember I will fight people for any fucking reason. And you grew up in the world thinking that this is normal in our world. It is normal, right? And those are stories. Sometimes you're like, yo, this happened. I fought this. I fought drug dealers before around here. And at that moment, you're like, yeah, I did that. Whatever. You have a fight story or war story. But at the end of the day, man, it's not even worth it, bro. And if you could avoid a fight, it's better off avoiding it. If you tried everything else to avoid a fight and it, you know, and you couldn't, then yes, defend yourself. Defend yourself. Learn how to fight. You see what I'm saying? There were times that like, I've seen so many things happening out here. But I like check that ego. I feel like the young cats, I remember being 18, 15, 14 years old, right? I know what that feeling is. I know what that rage is. I know how sometimes you feel invincible. Like you feel like, yo, nothing can stop me, nothing can hurt me. And sometimes you want to be the baddest dude alive. But in reality, that's not where your energy should go. You should be rebuilding, hanging out with your friends, have fun with your friends. If you're out and you drinking with your friends and something happens, I lost a guy. I lost a friend, Scrappy, right? The short Dominican, handsome dude, bro. They call him Scrappy because he has like a scrappy voice and stuff like that. Like I got it now. And he used to box, great fucking boxer. And he went out to the club, and I remember like Scrappy was the type of dude like he bump into anybody and he'd be like, "Yo, pop off, let's do it, let's fight." That was his energy, right? And I had a little bit of that energy, but not like Scrappy. And then he went out to the club. He got into it with somebody, and then when they left the club, they went looking for him. They ganged up on him. There was two dudes against him. Matter of fact, he was hanging out with some dudes, and the other dudes that he was with left him. So sometimes you don't even know who's on your side. Sometimes you think that the boys that you're with are the ones that are gonna defend you. And they left him. They ran away. They beat Scrappy up so freaking bad that left him unconscious. Scrappy was in a coma. In a coma. And he died at a young age, at 19 years old. Se murió muchacho.
And all of it is avoidable.
It was all avoidable. And I know how he is. Te apuesto que he probably would have walked away, didn't say shit, or dejó esa mierda así. He probably would have been alive today. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, bueno, señores, I know this went really dark. It was supposed to be just comedy.
No, so it's an important life lesson.
Yeah. But I feel like if I could teach something to the youth, I'll do it.
Do it. I think that's important. That's what we should get out of this.
Norberto, thank you for coming, my brother. You're fucking loved. I love doing this. I get to hang out with you. I have a great time. And hopefully everybody had a good time too. Leave in the comments. Tell us what you think. Join the conversation. I read the comments. Once I post it, I read it right away. So comment. Lo quiero mucho. Que la pase bien. Subscribe. Y lo veo next time.